Okay. I'm going to move this and then I'll probably kill myself trying to put it back, but if you don't get that eye right, you don't have anything right. So I'm trying to get that in. I'll have to put it in more intensely later, but I think I have the look I want. I'm putting in the darkest darks right now just so that I have a good comprehension of what it is I'm heading toward. The basic shapes that I want. They're important. And I'm going over the charcoal. I've already sprayed it with a little varnish to make sure that it doesn't move too much on me. This is such a beautiful dog. He was a service dog at a rescue here in town, in Hillsborough actually. I'm in Pinellas, but not far from here. He was rescued because he was a dog that was underutilized, a dog that was very frustrated in his previous home where he didn't get to do any work. He just languished and was frustrated and was considered naughty, when in actuality he just desperately needed a job, and this rescue gave him one. He took care of all the animals at the rescue, guarded over them at night and in the day to make sure everything was okay. He became the main companion to the owner of the rescue. And I know she's had a lot of pets in her life, but I think this doggie was very special to her. And since she does such a beautiful job with these animals, never asking for anything, just working tirelessly day and night. She has dogs, mostly dysfunctional dogs, a blind dog, and other dogs that are there guarding the flock, which they have a lot of chickens and birds and fowl, and I believe they have geese. They've got hold on, I have to think. Can't do two things at once. Okay, they have goats. And these doggies have an important role in keeping them all safe and alerting them if there's coyotes in the area, chasing the coyotes off. Okay, I'm not doing too much with this little brush. I just want to get in some of these basic movements of his fur. Anyway, he passed away last year, and I know it was heartbreaking because I've lost a lot of pets myself, including one last year, which just broke my heart. Probably the last dog I'll ever have. I'm getting older now. I don't think it's probably good for me to get another dog, and I don't want to put my birds in danger. A lot of the frisky dogs that I love are also naughty dogs. You wouldn't know it, but there's a lot of warmth in here. And some of it will have to be lightened up. I want to use my finger, but you just shouldn't. Not with oil paint, if you can help it. I'm just putting in a little warmth here and there so I remember it's there. He's so beautiful. His face is just so beautiful. I could just paint him in black and white and he'd still be beautiful. I had a dog that was part shepherd. We always thought she was Australian Shepherd, but apparently she had Collie in her and German Shepherd in her, and I guess she had some Pit Bull in her, who knew? But she was the most loyal, beautiful, wonderful dog in the world. And she reminds me a lot of this doggie, the concentration on the face, the devotion. Okay, so we're going to put a little dark under here. And just to remind me that he has a lip, put the light back in just a little bit right there. And the other thing I want to do before I go off camera, because I'm really in the middle of another whole painting and I want to finish that, is put some of the pink in on this nose here, this precious nose. Not too much, just enough to let us know it's there. And a teeny bit of this color right above the lip here. Now when I do this fur, I'm going to use a big brush to work it in there. This bag here is all straw, believe it or not, and I'll work that in. Darker and lighter, darker and lighter. But that's what that is. But what I will do soon is put the background in. Background is just a gray color. So to do gray, you just want to mix a little blue and white together. You probably don't even have enough out here because it's going to be kind of juicy. But I'd like to go around the edge of him and decide what color that's going to be. So I need more white. The rest of this painting I will paint in fast motion, but I wanted you to see how I started it. I'm going to add a tiny little bit. Do you want this warm or do you want this cool? The painting is cool, the background, the painting is warm, the background is kind of cool. So what do you want? Maybe a little purple in here with the blue. Purple and blue, because purple has a tiny bit of red in it. Let's see what that looks like. Big old giant brush. The background determines the shape, helps you readjust the shape when it's wrong. Generally speaking, you go into your painting a little bit. Little muzzle goes up at an angle, down. We will brush his fur into this. A little more of this purple into the blue. It's hard to tell where the light's coming from in this picture, but if in fact it's coming from the right, which is what I think I'm going to concentrate on, give him a little glow on this side, then this will be the darker side and this will be the lighter side. In other words, the light is shining over to this side from the other side. So I'll put a little more of this purple in this side and a little more blue. And I may adjust this, but I'm trying to get an idea of what I want to do. I'll use a softer brush to blend this a little better. Then you have this side, which has a little of the purple and the blue in it. Put a little more of that blue over here. So that gives you the background, at least a place to start. All this is going to be his fur. And all of that will be the crazy background. Started in dark. And we'll lighten it up from there. And the bottom of the painting is going to be hard to reach, but we will. I'll put a lot more blue in it and brown for the bottom. got to get something on here. All of it will be adjusted later. That was a boo-boo. I don't want that like that. Okay, so there's a big beginning on that. Here I have a table full of different things from ham, salami, black olives, garbanzo beans, provolone cheese, marinated red pepper, marinated artichoke hearts, green peppers, marinated red beets, and I'm going to mix these all up with some bow tie pasta that I have cooking on the stove. That's in the kitchen here. It should be done in another few minutes. To my son and husband, they will get the meat in theirs. Mine, I will put the beans for my protein. And you can add any kind of seasoning you like, along with maybe some oil and vinegar, or they seem to really like a pre-made Italian dressing, so I use that on theirs. Anyway, I'll let you see what it looks like when it's all finished. A nice pasta salad that you can chill, and you don't have to bother cooking later on in the evening. Everything will be done when people get home from work or from school or wherever your family comes from to finish their day off. Okay, so for mine, I've got a little bit of the juices from the marinated peppers and artichokes in here. I put the same in here, and then salt and freshly cracked pepper. Then I'm adding artichokes and beets and all the yummy things that I chopped up. The green olives, the black olives, and some garbanzo beans. Haven't decided if I'm going to put any cheese in here. I eat a little cheese still, but I think I'm just going to do this vegetarian. I guess technically vegan, but I can't call it vegan since I don't know if all of these items here were made vegan. If there's even the slightest little thing that was used in it that wasn't vegan, then it's not vegan. But at any rate. So there's mine. And then into my husband and son's. They've got almost the same ingredients minus the beets. And they have all the cheese and the meat in theirs. And of course they don't have the garbanzo beans. My husband hates beans. So no matter how good I make this, if I put beans in it, he's not going to eat it. And then into theirs, I will sprinkle a little bit of this extra salad dressing, which is just zesty Italian. They happen to like it a lot. I have already put some olive oil on both of them, but I add a little extra of this for them. And so that's it. That's 2 pasta salads. One is vegetarian and one is not. You can add anything you want to these. Chill them and eat them whenever you feel like it. There are some very last minute details I have to put on our boy here. And it may be hard for y'all to see. I can't help that. I'm using a very pretty blue that I very rarely use. I'm hanging on to this stick for dear life. So I have a steady hand. Jackson had very light eyes. He almost looked right through you. With so many iridescent qualities in them. Sometimes they look a little golden. Sometimes they look slightly greenish. Other times you see the blue in them. But they're mostly blue eyes. And in the photos, they get so light they almost look white. In real life, I'm sure they were just very beautiful blue. Very, very pale blue. A sky blue. Now, there is a white dot in his eye, and oh my God. It's so hard to do. But it comes right at the white here. And it didn't do it. Come on, baby. Right at the white. It's almost as though you see that spot just a little lighter than the rest, but not necessarily much different. I don't know if that really captures it, to be honest with you. I have to think about that. Kind of just looks like something's in his eye. Maybe it would look better if I went ahead, excuse my arm, made these eyes just a tiny bit bluer so you could see the difference between the light and the color in the eyes. I'm using so little blue, it's not funny. But perhaps I need just a little more blue. I could make his eyes ridiculously blue because they're just so beautiful. And then you would see this white. Well, I'll mess with that a little bit more. Other than that, I just want to give his fur a little bit more yellow. Not with blue in it though. There's very little on here. It's pretty much almost dried up. I'm just doing finishing touches, so I really don't need to drag out anymore. Just a little bit of yellow. Nice and thick. You'd be so surprised how little yellow you need into the white. To make it turn a little yellow. So then we're going to go, yes, yes. Let's go back out of it a little, go here. There. Just a few strokes. My doggy had long hair like this too. And I'm just featuring some of these long hairs that are up front, not too many of them. There's not much to do these days, so people are watching a lot of old movies. And apparently my husband is just losing his mind up there watching that Something About Mary movie, which we've seen 1,000 times, but it's just tickling him pink, if you can hear him in the background there. I want the fur to look like fur, but I want these pieces up front here to be a little bit more standout than the rest of it. Maybe a little purple in there. Some of these pieces can be in here, just don't want them to stand out more than those. There's like a whole shadow going right through here. Gets bigger as it goes back. You know, none of this has to be exact because every time an animal moves, his fur moves and it looks a little different. But the rhythm of application has to be right, which means you've got to go in the right pattern that the hair would go. Don't really see down here, but I have a feeling that maybe this is not quite so long right there. The hair gets long, but I think it sort of fades out a little here. So we'll fade it out a tiny bit as it gets right there. Last little tiny drop of light here in the eye. And I think we're pretty much done. Hope y'all enjoyed.